live.
Hello, hello.
Connection.
Right. Test, test, test.
Connection.
Right. Test, test, test. Alright. Hi, Kira. You gonna hang out with me today?
Test, test. Test, test. Oh, alrighty. Oh.
Alright.
Hey.
Welcome back to December of 2023.
I know. I can't believe it's already the end of the year.
Just a few more days and it's January. It's 2020. Oh my gosh. This year went by so fast.
Oh my god, it's so old, so fast.
I know.
Oh. Anyways, welcome everybody. AveryWolfe here.
Mason K, hi.
And welcome to our end of the year stream.
Yeah, end of the year. Oh,
This year went by so fast. I remember everything we read. Good memories, bad memories. Oh boy. Yeah, many bad reviews. Some good. Hopefully this next year we have more positive experiences.
Hold on.
Wait. Hey, Amber, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
I'm watching your stream, Amber, and I can't hear your voice. I'm watching Mia's stream, everything is okay, but Amber, your stream, I can't hear yours. I can hear Mia, but I can't hear yours. Go put on Amber's stream. Or go on Amber's YouTube.
Experience. I can hear myself.
Yeah, because I was watching it outside, and I can...
Yes.
Nothing is coming out from her mouth.
On Amber's
On
channel.
Amber's stream, yeah, on Amber's channel.
Can you hear me? I have my phone.
Well, Amber says she can hear herself.
That's so weird, because I'm watching it from my computer.
I can hear myself.
I'm saying go to your YouTube, and then open up Amber's, and check it out. Because you're the third party, so go check it out.
Okay, give me one
YouTube.
second.
Go to YouTube.
I'm on YouTube.
You guys do a little test.
Oh yeah, I can't hear anything.
Are you sure? I can hear it on my phone.
Oh yeah, I can't hear anything. Oh, there's my voice. Yeah. That's weird.
Strange.
Tell CJ to go to. Is CJ listening in or no?
Let me.
That's weird.
Strange.
Tell CJ to go to.
I can hear her fine in your stream. Is this her stream? I can't hear her.
Yeah, I couldn't hear her either.
I'm gonna continue watching from outside.
Oh, I'm so stupid. I was watching your video. Let's try this again.
Okay, you want to give me SpongeBob?
I can find one. Test, test. Hello, hello. CJ, if you're watching, it's not working.
I don't think he is, because if he was, he would have been here by now.
I texted me.
I don't think he is, because if he was, he would have been here by now.
Oh, wait, I just heard myself. Is that your
Oh,
mom?
that's my, yeah, it's from my phone. Okay, it's coming up. Technical difficulties.
Should I wear my glasses? No, I'll just keep my glasses on. Dang, CJ must be really cold.
Wait, do you hear it? Yeah.
Do you hear the snow?
Oh.
You hear them now? No?
I still hear you.
Hello, hello.
Like only you.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
no, sorry. Okay.
someone took my water.
Someone took my water. Who else?
You guys are good. I can hear.
Okay, you hear them now? Can I have
Yeah,
my
good.
water back?
Okay.
Can I have my water back?
You're good. I know.
She actually likes leaving that on, the little onesie.
Yeah.
Dang.
I don't know, because she has like no hair on her tummy. All right. Anyways, let's start over. Hello, welcome everybody.
Take two.
December 2023 in the books. AveryWolfe here.
Mason K, welcome. After technical difficulties, we're back at it again.
Back at it. All right. So where did we leave off? Yeah. So another reading month. I kind of had a reading slump the week of Christmas. You know, things are happening, events.
I don't think I read anything Christmas week.
Yeah.
So same here.
But yeah, I got back into it a couple of days ago, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Anything new with you?
Not really. I mean, Christmas just came and went. Getting ready for New Year's. We just not binge watched. We just did our annual viewing of the Harry Potter series. So yeah, we just started Fantastic Beasts. Not looking forward to that, but I gotta watch it. So
we gotta watch it. Silly, hold on. You go outside. Memento. Okay.
My little mouse.
Pardon. All
Mm,
right. Anything else? Movies?
no, not really. Got a 4-day weekend, I guess, from work. So
Nice.
getting to sleep
Yes.
in. Been working. I haven't been reading, but I've been working on a puzzle. So that's just taking up my free time now.
Okay. How big's the puzzle?
Just a regular 1,000 piece puzzle, but it's like I could do one. I could do a puzzle within a few days, but this one, it's it's pretty difficult. It's a BTS puzzle, but um, the the negative space or whatever it's called, the space surrounding the BTS members, is all pink flowers and they all look the same. So I don't know. I don't know where the pieces go. So I've been taking like every individual piece and just comparing it to the box cover. So I'm like, okay, where does this flower go? Okay, there it is.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, it's a lot of pink roses and white roses, and I can't tell. I can't. I can't. Oh, and then this is funny. Lately, at work during our lunch hour, me and one of my coworkers, we do puzzle chess,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's basically we get like a 500, like a 300 or 500 piece puzzle. We set up a chess clock, and then it's basically like you go every, like, we both put a piece down and then the stop,
Oh,
and then we
okay.
keep going until the puzzle's finished. And
Oh.
so it's like it helps pass the hour, and you know, works the brain
Okay.
muscles.
Okay.
I know that's the reaction we get every time someone asks us, "Oh, what we do during lunch?" And we're like, "Oh, puzzle chess." And you're like, "Huh?"
Interesting. Interesting.
I'm like, "Yeah." And then they're like, "Okay." I'm like, "Yeah, we're nerds, so it is what it is."
Gotta keep the brain stimulated.
Yeah. And it's been like we've been doing Pokemon puzzles, so we're like, at least we enjoy. At least it's Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Just the first 150. Okay, I don't know. No new generations. Just
Yeah, I don't even know how many there are now.
I think
Like 1,000 plus. I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know.
Uh,
Okay. What about
I
you?
don't know. Oh gosh, yes, really? Okay, come in or out. Okay.
Her
Hold
nails is
on.
just tapping the floor.
I know. You decide, okay. Not nothing much. We just spent Christmas with CJ's family. And pretty much it. Nolan got a bunch of new toys. I'm still trying to figure out what to do with them and where to put them because, like, our storage sucks for his room right now. But yeah, just after all the stress of Christmas and Christmas shopping and wrapping, since all that's over, just got back into reading and pretty much it. Honestly. No, don't mess up the bed. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And here we are.
And here we are. All
All
right. So should we get into it?
Yeah, so our reading prompts that we selected back at the end of November was one at least one blue book, or mostly blue book, and one mostly red or red, RED, red.
All right.
And, yeah.
So
Where do you want to start, red or blue?
we can do the I guess the prompts first and then additional books after.
Yeah, red or blue.
Um, whichever. Let's see. What's on top of okay. I guess I have a blue book first on my top of my stack right here.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess I'll go first for my first book. I think I read this book right after we got off stream last time. It's With Love from Cold World.
Oh, that's a cute cover.
Yes, very vintage postcard vibes.
Yeah. Reminds me of like a California postcard, like
Yeah.
that one.
But this takes place in Florida.
Oh.
Actually, I lied. This isn't the first book I read, but it's on top of my pile, so I'll go with it first.
Okay.
So it takes place in Florida. Cold World is like it's not a destination place. It's like how do I explain it? What do they call it? It's like a Dave and Buster's type of deal. Like it's not an
Like an arcade?
kind of. It's like okay, think of a big no. Yeah, think of a big warehouse, right? And then inside they have like a skating rink, they have like a snow globe attraction, they have a little like mini restaurant, and they have like all these little like it's kind of like a pop-up warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
You get
Kind of like that thing in Vegas that we went to with the escape room situation grocery store and the hang gliding ceiling and the restaurants.
yeah, kind of like that. I don't know what those things are called. So it's kind of like
I know what you're talking
it's kind of like that, but more Christmas oriented. I mean, it's open throughout. Open every day of the year, and it's basically. Oh, sorry, we got a burp.
Oh, let loose. It's okay.
So it's basically this girl who's like the bookkeeper of the. I don't know what it's called. Like I need to call it something. I guess it's not a museum. It's like let's call it. I don't know.
Like a pop-up event. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So she's the bookkeeper of this pop-up event, and she doesn't get along with this guy. I guess you can. It's like an enemies to lovers kind of situation. Close proximity. They have to work together to try to save the place because there's there's a chance that it's gonna close down next year because it's not making profit. And then of course, as they work together and as they find out that they like you know the deal. You know the formula. Mm-hmm. They fall in love, and then, like, it's just, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
There's conflict, and happily ever after, the end. I thought it was an okay book. Like, this is the same author that wrote, Love in a Time of Serial Killers, the one that looks like a Valentine's Day book.
Oh, the one that you read, was it last month?
Yeah, last month.
Okay.
So I think I like this one a little bit more. I'm not saying it's the best book I read, but I did like the plot more. Um, there's some LGBTQ in here, um, which is a guy. I think he's like, not I think, he is bisexual, which, like, I was like, if he's, I would rather have him like end up with another guy because I think she was a little too chaotic. Like,
Okay.
I think she was like a little too toxic for him, so I feel like he should have just like left this alone.
Oh.
left her alone, and then until she can figure out what she wanted. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. I don't know if I want to um, spoil anything about this book. I mean, like I said earlier, it's your typical romance, enemies to lovers, happily ever after.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, very cute cover for sure. It was a cover by. It doesn't make me want to visit Florida. It just makes me want to collect postcards.
It's a cute hobby, though.
Yeah.
What would you rate it?
Out of 5, I would rate it a 2.5. Like, it's mid. It's mid.
Okay. So my blue book, I have read the Graveyard book.
Oh yeah, Neil Gaiman.
This is a book that I picked up from a used bookstore, hobby store, with Mason K.
Oh,
Um,
oh, you got
yeah,
it there.
yeah. Picked this up like a while back, and
You finally read
it
it.
took me I got this like a couple years ago, I think, and I finally now picked it up because it was blue and it fit the prompt. So, it's by Neil Gaiman, probably one of my favorite authors. So, this is about a human boy. When he was a baby, his family was murdered by some sort of serial killer, and he was lucky because he that night he crawled out of his crib and like somehow made it outside and crawled into the neighboring graveyard. And so his whole family was murdered. And ghosts, there's a ghost couple that lived in the graveyard that wanted to help the boy. And so they decided to take him in and raise him. So this book is mostly just about him growing up in the graveyard, and he's being educated by the ghosts and whatnot. And not only is he like learning, practical things, he's learning ghostly, like paranormal things as well. And so yeah, like throughout his life, he's stuck in this graveyard and he goes on adventures. There's like sort of like portals and stuff within this graveyard. And like by the time I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah. So it's about a boy that his life's he grows up in a graveyard, and what am I saying? Like you think, oh my gosh, I'm going blank. But yeah, that's this. You know, like if you ever read a Neil Gaiman book, you know that he writes very like eccentric stories. They're very like dreamlike. They're very weird. And his prose is like always so beautiful. So like he could write about like the most boringest thing and make it sound so magical.
You want to
But
go
yeah.
live in a graveyard?
No, but but yeah, it's pretty much like I can't say anymore like without giving something away. So it's just like a normal boy that is raised by a ghost couple and he learns special abilities and stuff. What's that?
Oh my
It's
gosh.
So this like Neil Gaiman's like one of my favorite authors, but this is probably like my least favorite so far. Cause like Stardust and Coraline is still like
It's still up there.
peak, yeah. But this is still good. Like none of his books are bad. It's just I still have those higher up there.
You would probably hate me for this, but I've never read a Neil Gaiman book.
You read Coraline, right?
No, I don't have Coraline. I've watched it a million times.
What? I lent it to you. Did you not read it?
Yeah, I don't have it.
I lent it. No, remember I lent you a bunch of books.
I
and
didn't
then
read. No, I didn't read.
Oh wow, you didn't read it?
Oh my god.
Caught up.
Oh
It
my
was when like I lent you that and then Arsenic and Adobo and then there was like another romance. Yeah. Yeah. So
Anyways. I know.
Briefly.
I should at least read Coraline. I know. I feel so bad.
It's fine. Caught up.
Anyways, my next blue book that I am kicking myself for not reading it any sooner, but I picked it up because the third book is coming out in January. Crescent City, The House of Sky and Breath by the one and only Sarah J. Maas.
Did it redeem itself?
I was like, why didn't I read it sooner? Like, I'm so mad at myself. I mean, I remember why I stopped reading it halfway through. I was starting to get burned out from Sarah J. Maas because before this, I was reading, I think I reread her other series, the Akatar series and Throne of Glass, and then I got burned out. There was too much going on. I really kind of don't like reading urban fantasy, and this is what that is. It's urban fantasy, and I'm like, I like reading like in the medieval time period type of fantasy. But I read it and I hate myself for not reading it any sooner because the ending made up for it, and I was like, fudge, I really can't wait until January. Frick.
Well, I mean, at least you read it now, and then you don't have a long wait, you know?
Yeah, that's true. And it was like part of the prompt, so I was like, okay, Mia, let's do this. Let's read it, especially since a new one is coming in. And I did, and it was great. You've never read Sarah J. Maas, but House of Sky and Breath is part of the Crescent City series. It's urban fantasy. It's basically, think of like New York City, but with magic in there, like fays, werewolves, angels, demons, like this living life. Angels are like the police force. The fae, like the elves, are like the royalty. Werewolves and vampires are like kind of like the gangs, like the lower cities. And there's, of course, there's humans. There's a lot of interspecies relationships, so it's kind of like that. It's just about a main girl, Bryce Quinlan, who is essentially like a big party girl, which you don't really see a lot in a lot of like romantic fantasy books. Like it's always like the main girl's always like this shy, like I can't, or this powerful like being. But her, she's like, she don't give an F about like what people think of her. She likes to party, she likes to have sex. So like she doesn't care who knows it. But she's also like smart. She's like, I think she works as a historian, I think. But anyways, something happens and she has to partner up with an angel to solve like some mysteries, and hell breaks loose. It's essentially what Crescent City is. Both books were about. It's just like figuring out what to do next. And then I would give this like a really high rating, like 4 out of 5. I was reading this book nonstop. Like I borrowed the ebook from the library, and then I read and I have this physical copy because I didn't want to be lugging this around. Like, look, you see how thick this book is. Like,
that's what I do too.
So at work or wherever I went, I would read the book on my Kindle and then read this at home in bed. And let me tell you, like right when I was getting when I yeah, my brain is working too fast for my mouth to catch.
Overstimulated.
Yeah. Like I was on the last few chapters and I was getting too sleepy to read it, so I went to sleep. And then right when I woke up, I picked up my book. I have it right next to my bed, like right there. I picked it up, and then I was reading it, and then my Lee was sleeping right next to me. And then right when I read the last like page, I was like, wait. I'm surprised. Like, I think that woke up Lee. I didn't yell an exclamation. I was just like, what? I started moving around. I got up, I sat straight up, and I was like,
oh, it was like a cliffhanger.
Kind of, yeah. I was like, wait, and then I like read the last few pages over again just to make sure I read it correctly, and I'm like, what the fuck? What? Oh my god. I was moving around a lot, and I think that woke him up, and he's like, are you okay? I'm like, yes, I think so. Oh.
Well,
Go back to sleep.
I mean, at least you waited. Like, yeah, and it's coming out soon, right?
Yeah, like right after I got done, I double checked the release date for the third one, and then I went on the forums about like certain characters, like making sure I got it correctly, and then I was like, oh man. But yeah, I'm glad I read it. Knowing myself though, I'll get the next book and then I'll lag until
I don't think so, unless it starts off raunchy, like too raunchy for you or something.
Yeah, there's a certain like part of the book that I really like. I just want the next book to start from where it left off. Like, I don't want to be reading some other character's POV. I want to be reading where I left off. I
bet you it's not going to be like that.
I don't want to be reading what the other characters are doing. I don't want to know. I just because I know some of her books start off like that some other person is doing something, and I don't care.
I mean, that's what makes you keep reading, right?
I guess whatever. Anyways, that's my take on that.
All right, another blue book. So I finally picked up Fairy Tale by Stephen King.
Wow, that book's thick too.
not too bad. But it was like a little dense. Y'all know Stephen King. He's
The king of horror.
Yeah, king of horror. And I think this is like one of his first takes on adult fantasy, maybe. Because I know he did like another one, but it seemed like that was like a middle grade fantasy. I forgot what the title is, but it was like a while back. But yeah, so Fairy Tale. Like if you ever read Stephen King before, you know he's like a master of developing like his characters, their backgrounds, you know, their personalities, their relationships, and all that. So, like, it was easy to get immersed into this book because, like, the characters seemed real. So this is like about a 17-year-old boy, like in his past, he's dealt with his mother dying and then his dad, like getting through alcoholism, and the way that his dad got over it was like a sort of wish he made, so that like he wished that his dad would stop, and it miraculously came true. And so our main character kind of has a mindset that he needs to pay it forward and do a good deed to like kind of pay back whoever helped him. And so he has this neighbor. He's like the old cranky man that everybody's afraid of. And he has a very old German Shepherd. And
is
so,
that it right there on the cover?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so one day he walks past the old guy's house and he hears that, he fell, he's hurt. So he believed that this was his moment to kind of pay it forward. So he ends up taking care of the old man. They start to build a relationship. The old man doesn't have anybody else. And, he grows to trust the boy. And then the dog as well. So the main character, like, connects with the dog. Like, oh my gosh, I was like, so the dog reminds me of Zuli. So, like, my heart goes out to the dog. So this kid will do anything for this dog and whatnot. And so, so there's that. And some time later on in the book, it is revealed that this old man has a sort of tunnel in his back shed, and this tunnel leads to another world. And so the kid decides to go down this tunnel to try to help the dog.
Okay.
And yeah, so it's like I don't want to spoil this world, but it was like in this nostalgic in a way because it kind of reminded me of. Have you ever seen Return to Oz?
Um,
It's it's not a sequel to Wizard of Oz. It's like its own story,
is
but
that
it's like darker.
is it the one with James Franco?
No.
No.
It's the one with the actress that was in The Craft, like the main witch in The Craft, and she was also in The Water Boy. She was the love interest.
I don't think I read. I don't think I watched it.
So it's kind of like that. I guess you could say it's a little bit like The Wizard of Oz.
Mm.
Um, but it's different classic fairy tales like in this world, but like how Stephen King would portray them.
Okay.
And so I guess like essentially this would be um Stephen King's take on Jack and the Beanstalk, I guess you could say.
Okay.
But instead of going up, you're going down.
All right.
But
All
yeah,
right. That's cool.
but yeah. It was really strong, but like the ending kind of wasn't like the best.
Mm.
But like the journey there was like so good.
Like the ending kind of killed it.
Yeah, it was like, oh, I wish like this happened. You know what I mean? But but yeah, the journey there was worth it. I would probably give this 5 or a 4, just because the ending like didn't hold up to the story.
All right. Um. So I kind of have one more blue book, but I didn't finish it. I just started reading it because I needed to read something. No, I didn't need to, but I felt like I was in the right mindset to pick this up. Same author from the Crescent City series, the Assassin Blade. It is from the Throne of Glass series, but this is like the prequel of that series. So she wrote the Throne of Glass series, which is a 7-book series. And after that was done, she wrote this as a prequel to that series. It's a bunch of novellas in this one book. So 5 short stories about the main character in one book.
Mhm.
So I felt like I didn't really need to rush through this. I already read like the first 2 short stories in here, which of
Okay.
course like it brought me back to this. It brought me back to this Throne of Glass series. It makes me want to read it again, actually. But yes, my Harry Potter bookmark you already see.
Dang, that's a long mark.
Oh yeah, it it came with the gift that Paulina gave me. And I'm like, you know what?
Oh,
I'll use this as a
oh,
bookmark.
okay.
I'll use this as a bookmark. Um, so yeah, I mean, I can't really say much without spoiling it, but it's just um all the missions that she went through in the series. Like there was some mentions of it in the series. The author just went more in depth, like the main character going through the missions that she had to do in this
Mhm.
book. So yeah, I mean, so far the first 2 that I read, I liked it. This is like very young adult. Like it's all just action. No, I don't think there's gonna be that much of a romance in here. If there is romance, it's not gonna be like It's not gonna be like what they eat. What
Yes,
this?
us.
It's
Chili
not.
peppers.
Yeah, it's not gonna be like 4 or 5 chili peppers. It's gonna be like a nod to it, like maybe one,
Mhm.
maybe one. Cause actually, I don't even think it's gonna be like a very like closed door romance because she's 16 in this book, and I do not want to be reading any 16-year-old.
Yeah.
So I like honestly, I really don't think there's gonna be any like that kind of thing like in her other books, because
Mhm.
she is too young to be reading about that, writing
Seems
about that.
not legal.
Not legal at all. So I went in knowing that, and I mean, yeah. See, this is all the books that I have and read.
Like takes up one bookshelf
Oh yeah.
or just Sarah Mass.
Mm-hmm. Like my,
One whole bookcase.
I have like a half bookcase that has 3 shelves in it, and then on the very very top of that bookcase is just Sarah J. Mass, like all of it. um, but yeah, so far so good. I don't want to rate it yet because I'm not done. I think that's it for my blue books. I only have 2 red books, and the rest are like miscellaneous.
Okay. Another blue book. I love the title. Okay, so we have
Thorn.
Thornhedge by T. Kingfisher. This is like a novella,
Mhm.
short. So it's like T. Kingfisher's take on Rapunzel,
Okay.
but from the point of view of a little fairy toadling. So I can't really say because it's so short. I can't really say much about it. Just that it's a retelling. The toadling fairy placed a curse on our Rapunzel, and she's doing everything she can so that nobody finds Rapunzel. And so
Wait, the
she
toadling?
yeah, the
Okay.
toadling fairy um cursed Rapunzel, and she's doing everything she can to protect Rapunzel from any outsiders.
Okay.
And then you just have to read it to find out why. So there's that one. Another blue book. So I listened to this one. I don't know if you could see it.
The takedown.
So I read The Takedown by Lily Chu. She's the same author who wrote
Isn't it the stand-in?
yeah, The Stand-In and what was the other one called? And another one where it was like about a K-pop romance.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay, so The Takedown. So it's about this girl named Dee. We start off, she has like the perfect life. She has the perfect job. She has a nice place. She is the top of the charts of this like online video game on her phone or whatever. It's like a scavenger hunt type trivia type game or whatever. She's on the top of the chart of that, and but like a little down the line, everything starts to go downhill. She's forced for that. She's forced to have her family come move in with her, and they're old style Asian, so you know how um, Asian families are. They could be a little like critical, a little racist at times. And yeah, so with her job, she's placed in a situation where she has to clean up a sort of scandal for this big fashion company. So she's kind of like a diversity consultant, like human resources kind of person. And she later finds out that the heir of the CEO of that company is her rival in the online game. And so that's where the romance is. And yeah, so that's that. Um, and so she's like forced to like make positive changes in the company when it comes to their workforce, yada yada. Um, but yeah, that's that. I didn't really enjoy this one just because of, my experience with human resources work. I just didn't want to be reminded of it. And just like all of that, like it gave me PTSD. I was like, I don't want to read this. So yeah, I didn't really like this one. I would still say that the stand-in is probably the best one. I wouldn't say it's like super good, but it's probably her best out of the three.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I gave this like a 2.
Just for the memories that invoked in you.
Yeah.
Aww.
Oh, it's like in the romance was like it happened so fast, and I didn't get that build up, that slow burn. There was like no slow burn. It was like
bam.
Yeah, if I read a romance, I need the slow burn because like I want to feel it,
Cute.
But yeah, those are my 2 blue books.
Well, more
So
than 2.
red. Huh?
More than 2 books.
Oh, just for that section. So 4 blue books.
Okay.
So red.
For red, I only read 2 red books, and they're the opposite of the holiday spirit. Right here.
Mm.
Right.
Mm.
So for my first one, I have Court of Dragons. I got
It's a pretty cover.
Yeah, I got this from my book subscription box. There was a cover on this, but I took it out because technically it's red. Yes, with the gold foiling. Court of Dragons is a fantasy book. I think it's a duology. I think the second book is on Kindle Unlimited. I might read it. I think I'm gonna read it, but it's basically this. Okay, this is true enemies to lovers. So this woman, I forgot her name, honestly. She's half fae, half human, but she has the appearance of human, so no one really suspects her because she lives in I don't want to say special. She lives in a world where the fae is hated because they're the conquerors, right? But since she's half fae, no one really suspects her because she looks really human. But her mom is, her mom is human as well. So she is set to marry this guy. I think he's like a sergeant or a soldier in her stepfather's kingdom. And on her wedding day, her home gets attacked by Fae, who want her stepfather's kingdom for themselves because they are basically dragon riders. Her whole kingdom are dragon riders. She's a dragon rider. So the Fae wants control of that because that's where dragons reside. So of course the enemy, I forgot his name as well. Dang it. So the elfin male? Elven male. He kills, or he and his soldiers kill her family, and they take her as a prisoner of war to their kingdom, where she's forced to marry him. So of course she hates it. She really hates it. She hates the king. She hates the prince that killed her family. She hates this whole marriage situation, but she realizes she has to like cooperate with him if she wants to survive. So there are like, you can like see the small moments where she's like, oh, like, you know, he's hot, whatever.
Okay.
Because apparently all elven males are hot, because that's how it is in these fantasy books. They're beautiful. But with her entire being, she hates him. But as he protects her from his kingdom, his dad, she kind of softens up a little bit. I thought the story of this was like, it was okay. I mean, it was, of course, it's a little predictable because, yeah, you're married to this conqueror and you think he's hot. So, of course, you're going to, like, sooner or later, you're going to fall for him. What I liked about this is that this is why I'm thinking of reading the second book. There is no, like, besides the thinking, oh, she's or he is like cute and all, like, she hates him. Like, they hate each other. So there is no way, like, I am actually surprised there is no romance in this book. Like, it is all action. The second book, I think that's where all the romance is at, so I'm probably gonna read it just to see how it plays out. But yeah, see, this book is pretty short, and the what is it called, the font is pretty big, so it's a pretty fast-paced read. It's like, I think it's like less than 300 pages.
Okay.
So it's just them trying to deal with each other and wanting to survive the volatile elven kingdom. And so yeah, I was like, okay, I get, okay.
So you'd rate it?
I would rate it like a 3. Ish.
Okay.
Yeah, a 3. Like, you know, one of those memes, like, or those TikTok videos, like the girls like reading and reading, waiting for the romance to happen, but it never does. That was me the whole time. I was like, I'm almost at the end of this book. Where is the romance? But nope. I was like, okay, but you know, it wasn't like disappointed. Like,
it makes sense.
It
like
makes
the
sense.
Evening,
it makes
piecing
sense
for the romance makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Because I know well, not some, most books, they would have the characters like,
Yeah, right off the rip.
yeah. But this is hella slow burn. It's like slow burn, like really slow burn. Like, like, but I'm not mad at it. So I
Okay.
think I am going to read the second book. I'm not. I don't think it's out yet though. I think it's gonna come out soon, like in the beginning of next year. I believe January, February. One of those.
Okay.
Hmm. But yeah.
I only read one red book. And it's Christmassy.
Oh,
So
Sherlock Holmes.
yeah, so I picked up
Christmas
Sherlock
Demon.
Holmes.
But it's not by the original
Not
author.
by not by Conan Doyle. But
Not Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Yeah.
yeah,
Wait,
Sir
yeah.
Arthur. Yeah.
For some reason,
Um
I'm like thinking of Conan O'Brien.
oh yeah. Uh
Oh, that's cool. Nice cover.
yeah, so it's like I
Christmas.
don't know, like this one was on I think Kindle Unlimited and I was like, you know what? It's red. And so no, I think it was available at my library. And so I was like, you know what? I could just get it now. And then so I got it. So Sherlock Holmes, like all you know, Sherlock Holmes deals with mysteries and stuff like that. So this one in particular, Holmes and Watson, they agreed to meet up with a potential client. Um, she she's like a really wealthy client. She's from like this grand eccentric Yorkshire, is that how you say it? Yorkshire dynasty. So like she has a wealthy family. Um, but she believes that she's being haunted by this sort of Christmas demon, known in folklore as the Black Thuric. I think it's like a Nordic sort of demon, like from Nordic folklore. Folklore. Um, she claims that she sees it outside her bedroom window, and she even claims that the demon leaves parcels of birch twigs like at her home or whatever, which in folklore is the Black Thuric's calling card. Um, so so with that, she also explains that like she is the heir, like she is like an heir, and she is to inherit the family fortune only if she's sane. If she's sane. And to Holmes and Watson, it seems like someone is messing with her to make it seem like she's insane and that she doesn't get the inheritance. So Holmes and Watson agrees to take on the case, and they agree to stay at her family's manor to, investigate. And, shortly after staying there a while, they see there's more going on than just, what she's told them. So that's pretty much it. And then you just have to go from there. Um, I think I gave this the high three, maybe a four. I still prefer. I still prefer Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's stories better. I don't know, just like it feels more like, whoa, I was not expecting that, or like, wow, Holmes, you're so brilliant. This one was just like, oh, okay, okay, I can see that. But yeah, how was that?
Alright. Oh yeah, I love watching Sherlock Holmes, and I haven't read a Sherlock Holmes story since school. And I kind of want to get, like, you know how Barnes and Noble, they have like those special edition books with the gold foil and the on the front.
Yeah.
Like the I think it's like $25 for the Sherlock Holmes um book. But I was like, I should have gotten it.
I think they have like, sales on those every
No,
now and then.
I know. I think there's a 50% hardcover sale right now. Um,
Mm.
yeah, but we'll see. So my last read book, very opposite of Christmas, A Dowry of Blood.
I have that.
You have this book?
No, like in my library bookshelf.
Oh
I
yeah.
was gonna pick it up, but I was like, I'll wait till January.
Well, this is also one of my special edition books. I took out the cover because honestly, um, the the cover that came with it, I didn't really like it. I like this better. So, it's a vampire book.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a retelling of Dracula, um, which was pretty interesting. I liked how it was written. It's first person, but it's kind of like reading a diary. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like reading a diary of the main character. Um, so they don't really say his name, the like Dracula. It's
Mm-hmm.
based on the character Dracula, but they don't say it. Like, she doesn't say his name at all because in this book she like she kind of says that, oh, I don't want to say too much because if you have it, I don't want to spoil it. Um,
So, from my understanding, so this is from the point of view of one of Dracula's wives,
mhm.
and the book is a letter she wrote to Dracula. Um, yeah, it's just a letter that she wrote to him or whatever.
Yeah, you could say that. It's like a bunch of letters.
Mm-hmm.
Like each, they're not really chapters. They're like letters to Dracula, about what she went through, and then I can say it's it's an LGBTQ book.
Of course.
Um,
That's
um,
Dracula.
yeah, Dracula. She becomes one of his wives, and then she's living life, with Dracula. He, of course, needs multiple wives, so as he collects them, she falls in love with, I think, the second wife, and that's when decisions are being made. But
Mhm.
yeah, it was actually like I actually like really I like this book. Honestly, I think it's probably one of my highest reads. I think I would give this like maybe yeah, I would give it like a high 3, maybe a 4. Um
It was a finalist in the Goodreads 2023 awards.
yeah. Um yeah, really I don't want I don't want to say it's really really good because I feel like I'm hyping it too much, but um I liked it. I was like, man, this is like it's like a good take on vampire stories because all the vampire books nowadays are like, I feel like are trying to be the smutty version of Twilight, where
Yeah,
human girl
they're
falls in
like
love with them.
modern.
Yeah, it's like basically a human girl falling in love with a vampire and them wanting to become a vampire themselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, this I think you'll like it. Not sure. I don't think I've ever. Do you? I don't think you. Do you read vampire books besides Twilight?
I don't like modern vampire books, but I'm familiar with Castlevania and what's his name? Stambroker?
Mm-hmm.
Is Dracula. Um, the Dracula movie with Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder. So I'm like, that's the vampire that I want to read,
Okay.
not modern.
Okay. Well, this isn't modern. Okay. It takes
Yeah.
place like centuries, maybe early 1800s to the early 1900s.
Okay. Okay.
Actually, I don't know where I put my cover. I probably will put it back, but yeah, I think you'll probably enjoy it. I wanted to say it gave me like um, what is that book? Interview with a Vampire vibes, from Anne Rice.
Mm-hmm.
Just because the way like it was written, kind of. I just kept thinking of Interview with a Vampire. Maybe it's because of all the letters.
Okay.
Yeah. Quick read though. Very short book. Like less than.
It was originally like self-published, and then a publishing company took it in, and, like, did their thing.
And now it's a book.
Oh, now it's a highly marketed book.
Yeah. Dowry of Blood. Less than 300 pages. Quick read. Oh, okay. Now I know I'm gonna show you what the cover, what's it called? The book jacket looked like. Because they put it inside the book.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Creepy.
Yeah. But it was like in the book, the jacket is black, like charcoal black, so it was very hard to see the title, or it was very hard to see the cover art. So it wasn't like I just took it out because I didn't really like it. But you can definitely see it here.
Okay. That's cool.
I'm like, why is she sweaty?
It's the musk. I don't know. The sweat
Musk. Yeah.
of orgies. Okay.
Now, miscellaneous books.
Okay, so miscellaneous books. So I decided to pick up Gilded again.
Wait, is that a reread or you?
I picked it up because you know how I DNF'd it, and I was like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what? You're not gonna
I
do me like this.
I know, that's what I thought. Like, I remember you like getting that book, but
Yeah.
because then
Like,
I would be very surprised.
I read it like in like a chunk of it in April, and then I was just not feeling it. But then like I was like, come on, it's Marissa Meyer, like let's give it another go. And then I did, and like right after the spot that I DNF'd, that was when everything like picked up, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe like I almost DNF'd it.
Yeah, see, now you know how I felt about Crescent City too. I was like kicking myself for DNFing it.
But like I'm glad I picked it back up. So this is a retelling of Rumpelstiltskin. So we're introduced to our character Serilda. I think like long ago, like before she was born, she was cursed by the god of lies. So Serilda has this talent of telling these crazy like magical stories. But like, her fellow village people and stuff like don't believe her and they think she's crazy because she's like spinning all these stories out of thin air, yada yada. Um and there's um there's I guess like there's like this hunt that occurs within their village or in that land where the Earl King and his undead hunters like go hunting and like everybody is supposed to like hide in their homes and stuff and like plug their ears so that they aren't drawn or attracted to the sounds or music of the undead to like come out of their homes. So uh so Serilda, she is caught by the Earl King because she was trying to help some people, and she spins the story that she's out and about because she's collecting straw because she can turn straw into gold. So the Earl King was like weary of that story, so he ended up taking her during the next hunt because he has a feeling that she's lying to him. And so he locks her up and then he forces her to spin straw into gold. And obviously she can't, but there's somebody that she somehow summons out of desperation in the castle that helps her spin the straw into gold. But he could only do it if she gives up something valuable. So it's kind of like the magical bargain trope, where like it doesn't have to be something like physical. It could be something like a promise in the future or whatever. But yeah, so yeah, and then she ends up like over so like after the first time she does that task and succeeds, the Earl King, keeps bringing her again and again because he wants more gold and he also thinks she's still lying, blah blah blah. And then yeah, and so our story goes from there, and Serilda finds out that there's like more to this um castle, to this world that they live in, that she needs to uncover, so that no more hunts ever occur, essentially. But yeah, like the last, because I think I only read like 40% of it, but yeah, the last 60%, like so much like fantastical things were happening and the romance is picking up and all that. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I put this down. And there's ghosts, like ghosts.
Is it who's the author? Melissa Delacruz?
Marissa Meyer.
Oh, Marissa Meyer. Oh yeah, that's right. Is it a series or is it standalone?
It's a duology.
Oh, okay.
So we left off on a cliffhanger.
Are you gonna read the second one?
Yeah, I want to. I just have to um like place a hold at the library. And if it's good, then I might get the physicals. We'll
Nice.
see. We'll see.
Okay. So my next read is a Christmas book. I finally read it in a Holidaze.
Oh, yay!
Yeah. So yes, I borrowed this book from AveryWolfe. Almost a year ago. Like honestly, I've been putting it off. Like I got it around this time of the year last year. I'm like, okay, I'll read it. But then I never read it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait until next Christmas. And then I finally read it, and I thought it was okay. Honestly, it's not my favorite. Out of all of her books, it is not my favorite.
It was good when it came out. That's all I have to say. Because that, like, they didn't have that many good ones out at the time, I would say.
Yeah, I know there was like a lot of hype on this book. So maybe it was just the order of books I read, like, because I read The Unhoneymooners first, and I really love that book, and this one just pales in comparison. Like, well, you already know what's it about, since I borrowed it from you. It's basically Groundhog's Day type of deal. Main character, she makes a wish, a Christmas wish, and she's living a certain, it's like she's the week of Christmas, I think. She's living that week over and over again until her wish comes true. And of course there's a love interest. I think the reason why I was holding off in reading this book because of the what is this called? It's not a tagline, but it made it seem like it was a bless you. Oh, coughing. It made it seem like it was a what is that word? A love triangle with two brothers, and I'm not into that kind of thing. Like if I'm gonna read a love triangle type of situation, I don't want them to be related. I don't want there to be like two brothers liking the same girl or the same two sisters loving the same guy. Like I'm not into that kind of thing. Okay. But I picked it up just for the holiday season, and I mean, I'm glad that I finally crossed it off my TBR, because this has been in my TBR for over a year. So I'm done with this book. I would give this like a 2. I probably would have given it a higher rating if I read it when it came out, but since I didn't, I'll give it a 2.
Okay.
The ending was fine. The relationships were fine. I actually like the relationships between the main character and like the rest of the family members, not like the romance between the two main characters, or was it like it didn't make me yearn for it. Like honestly, like I thought I would have been happier if she ended up with the other brother. Like that's what I wanted. Like is she gonna like? I wanted her to end up with the other brother, not with the brother that she ended up with. Like maybe if it happened in a different way, like if she did end up with this brother, I wanted the journey to be like different. It was giving me Hallmark Christmas vibes. Yeah. And I like Hallmark Christmas movies. Like I'm a sucker for them, but this one, like I was like Other brother would have been better. For me, my personal opinion, I would have liked it if she ended up with the other brother.
Okay.
Yeah. That was it. Very short book. Quick read.
Alright. Where are we? Here, let's do another audio book. So, that one, an Audible original. Still Hung Up on You.
Cover
This
looks
is,
cute.
yeah, it's cute. Yeah, it's a short listen. Um, so it's a second chance romance. So I guess like our main duo, they were a couple. They grew up together and they were a couple. But the guy broke up with our female character um when they were about 16, and she didn't really know the reason why he broke up with her. And then now, like 15, 16 years later, um, she reaches out to him out of the blue. Um, so like she calls him up, and she's desperate to see if he still has her sweater that she left at his house when they were teenagers. Um, and this is the reason why is that the sweater holds like great sentimental value because the sweater was her father's. And so yeah, so she calls him up looking for the sweater. And he agrees to help her look for it, but like he's on a business trip, so he can't physically be there. But like they, talk through the phone and through text messages. Um, and he helps her into his childhood house that he inherited to look for the sweater. And yeah, that's kind of how that story takes off. And the house brings back memories. Things from the past come up again, and she gets some questions answered. Yada yada yada. That's how the story goes. I think I gave this like a 2. It was okay. Like, like it's just like the main female character is like kind of annoying, and yeah, that's my reason.
Okay, well, that's funny how you mentioned that book because I read. Where's the book? There it is. Resting Scrooge Face.
Oh.
This is a second chance romance as well, except this is kind of like. Have you ever watched You Got Mail with Meghan Ryan? But
Yeah, synopsis.
You know the synopsis.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like that, except it's with letters. So, the main couple in this book, they broke up when they were like after they graduated high school, and then years later, the girl comes back to take care of her aunt's house, and of course her ex-boyfriend lives there, and then she hates him. He doesn't, because he's the one that broke it off, and she doesn't know why.
Mm-hmm.
But they both hate Christmas. Like they're over it. They want it. They don't want to celebrate it. They don't want anything merry or jolly. So the man, he writes a letter, like he's just venting. Um, you know how people like they just write letters to the person they like hate, but they never mail it. Um,
Okay.
but this isn't addressed to anyone particular. He's just venting in a letter, and then um, his friend, who is a mailman, he sees it and he takes it secretly, and then he gives it to the person who also has trouble with Christmas, and it turns out it's her. So he like gives her the mail. Oh, there was this is for you, like it was in this letter is for you. And then so she reads it and she's like, oh, this is interesting. So she writes back. So they're basically mailing each other letters without knowing that it's the person that they hate. And yeah, um, we all know how this story ends too. Um, like she finally figures out why she broke up with them, um, and yeah, like what do you expect? Uh, it's a romance story, so of course there's a happily ever after.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Except, yeah, I was like, okay. I mean, with Meghan Quinn books, I never expect much from her books. I just like
Yeah.
when I read her books, I just want like something like I don't want to say maybe cozy, like a cozy fantasy, not fantasy, cozy romance read with
Okay.
no with
Little
little
comedy.
yeah with little risk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would give it a 2 as well. Like it's whatever.
It's like it's not like bad,
It's not
but
bad.
it follows the formula.
Yeah. Um, I mean, I liked how the writer or the author, like, she, instead of like her writing that the characters are reading the letters of what the letters say, like, she has like chapters of just the letters like to each other. I'm like, oh, this is so cute.
Mm,
It's so cute. But of course, it's a short book, so it's not that long.
okay. So my next book, I started it, I think the day of our last stream. So that was when I started it. So
Oh yeah.
Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia Fairies.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this was a finalist for the Goodreads 2023 awards too. Um, so this one is about Emily Wilde. She's an academic from Cambridge, and her specialty is fairies. And
Okay.
she's huh?
Okay. Yeah. That's cool.
Oh, oh, and
Sorry.
yeah, her specialty is fairies, and she's trying to finish up her encyclopedia, so that she could finally get published and whatnot. But she has like one last race of fairies to study and research.
Mm-hmm.
So she travels like way up north, like in the Nordic areas of the world. Don't know exactly where, but that's why I was like having troubles with like the town names and the people names because they're like Nordic names. I'm like, oh Lord. But yeah, so she travels up there because there's a race of fairies said to be there by the townspeople that they're super rare and they're the most human like. so they're like human size. So she goes there and she's, slowly trying to research things around town, like experiences like townspeople may be having with the Fae, all that. And like she goes to the forest to see what other Fae are there that could help her, like little like other races of Fae, so like the smaller fairies. Um, and then while she's like doing her research, work, an academic rival, I should say, from Cambridge, unexpectedly shows up with his team of assistants and joins her in her research. He's like a very like successful, eccentric guy. And there's it's forced proximity, so they're staying in like this small, like little Nordic cottage. Um, and so yeah, he's like a natural socialite. He has a way with words and all that, and he's like beautiful. Um, and Emily has a theory that he's part of this rare race of Fae. So like she so like when she's not out like, finding clues or researching outside, she's inside and she's like kind of like studying him to see like if she could find any signs of Fae or whatever to like um to prove her speculation. But yeah, so they are forced to work together to find this land of the Fae, and it goes from there. And I think I rated this a 4 because it's so cute. It's a cozy fantasy, romance fantasy. Um, it there it doesn't really show any spice, probably until the next book that comes out in January. But yeah, it was really cute. The banter is so cute, and like he's funny. Um, I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like I was just like, it's hard to make me feel that way about like a romance fantasy.
Romance. I know it's two
Yeah,
genres that you don't read a lot.
I know.
But
Or no,
you've been
it's
reading some fantasy lately though.
no. I read fantasy. I read romance, but I don't read romantasy.
Mm.
So like it's very rare that I pick up a romantasy because I have a bad taste in my mouth from what is it? The daughter, the
Oh, the
pirate
Pirate
king,
King, yeah.
and the girl who fell beneath the sea.
Oh yeah, don't remind me. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I've been on a sort of slump from romantasy since those books.
Yeah, my friend
And yeah, it's
actually
fun.
like sent me this TikTok about the girl who fell beneath the sea
Yeah.
because she was like cuz I think she liked the plot of it and I didn't want I was just like if you want to borrow it, you can borrow it, but I did not want to say anything. I was just like, ugh, PTSD.
No, yeah, it's just like my experience with romantasy, like it hasn't been great. The Twilight series, I was like, now that I think about it, I'm like, oof. And like Wicked Fox, I was like, oh, really? So yeah, so this is like the first romantasy
That you
that
liked.
I actually felt warm on the inside.
Wait, what about the what is it called? The Irregular Witches? The Society of Irregular Witches? I
That
mean,
one,
that was
I
a weird book. at the end, but from the beginning it
Yeah.
was pretty cute.
Yeah, it was cute and like it was cute and cozy. I would have gave it a 5, but like
The
yeah, the
end.
ending didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't sound ethical. Like why
Why?
like like there's a reason why, maybe spoiler alert, but there's a reason why she entrusted who she entrusted the girl. Okay, spoiler alert. There's a reason why she entrusted the girls to the sister instead of these guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, why would you go against that? Like, if you cared about this person, like, why would you go,
Why would you
like,
fight her
against,
wishes?
yeah, like, why would you go against what she wanted? Like, it's just, and just like the way things were handled, like,
That
after
weren't
that,
exactly
too.
legal.
I was like, wow.
Like,
Like I felt like it wasn't well thought out and it was kind of like rushed
yeah.
just to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's
Yeah.
what didn't work.
It just needs a different ending. That's it.
Yeah, but everything before was cute. It was so
Very
cute.
good. Anyways, speaking of cozy fantasy books, I have this one was my cozy fantasy book. Forged by Magic. It lists like I love the
Oh,
cover. It
that didn't
is
work.
yeah. It's giving me what is that book called? Latte Cap or
Legends Latte.
Legends like except it's not related to that series at all. This is Forged by Magic. Um Between an orc and an elf. Very cute. Um, so yeah, it's a it's a romantasy. Enemies to lovers, low risk, um, very light on the conflict, close proximity. So basically, the orc. I am forgetting the names of these characters. Anyways, the orc, she is an assassin for this ice kingdom. Think of I don't want to say that okay, in Thor the ice giants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Think of them. Um so she's an assassin for the king and then she's basically like a forced assassin. She um it's a standalone book. She's forced to do the king's dirty work because she's an orc. Like they hate orcs. But since she's half orc and she doesn't really look like an orc except the green skin, she was allowed to live, but she had to kill for the king. So, um, for a chance of freedom, the king offered her, or he charged her to go find this island that was doing the dragon magic, which is illegal. So she's like, yeah, let's go. So she goes. She looks for the island, but she gets shipwrecked, and she found herself on a mysterious island she thinks she's supposed to be at. She gets found by the elf, who's a blacksmith, and so that's another part. It's a blacksmith. Come on, it's an elf blacksmith. She gets found by the blacksmith who hates the king. So he knows who she is because she's famous for being one of the best assassins in the world. So he tries to hide what the island is about. So to do that, he has to keep her in his home, and that's where the close proximity is. There's one bed, the one bed trope. Except that he sleeps on the couch while she takes the bed, and yeah, like they're living under the same roof, so it goes from there. You know what happens next.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very like yeah, very. It's kind of. I wouldn't say it's a short book. I mean, it is like 350 pages. Um, they have this kind of like this competition, kind of to see to get like the ultimate wish from the island, and there's baking involved, there's fireworks,
Oh.
and there's like canoeing, so very cozy. um of course there's conflict because she's an assassin, and I think I would give this like a 3.5. I would have given it a 4, but I didn't like the ending. Like, it was very rushed. Like, very rushed. I would have been happy if they added like maybe 100, maybe like 50 or 100 more pages to this book. But like, it was really rushed. Like, they were trying to tie up everything in the last like, I don't know, 20 pages of the book. Like, the last chapter of the book, they were trying to tie up all the loose ends, like her freedom, her slavery, her like yeah, their whole backs, like their whole like all their problems they were trying to tie up in one chapter, and I'm like, come on, you could have written like 100 more pages to resolve everything. That would have been fine. So yeah, ending was not that good. I like the build up. So yeah, it was kind of like the Society of Irregular Witches, whereas the beginning was good, the build up was good, and then it just got they just
missed
the
it.
ending just missed. Like, the ending ruined the book. So I was like, while I was reading this, like, it's a duology, I think. Like, there's the second book is in the POV of another character in this one. I was gonna read it, but then when I read the ending, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know anymore. So we'll see. I mean, if the cover is as cute as this one, maybe. But like,
Maybe.
yeah, I was like,
Definitely
this.
the cover that sold you.
Yeah, for real. It's like, I thought it was gonna be like Legends and Lattes. I mean, I didn't read that book, but like there was so much about that book on TikTok and Instagram that I didn't want to read it because we got burned by that before.
Yeah.
Bad experience with Bookstagram and Book Talk. Bad experience. Yeah. So when I saw this book like popping up on my Kindle, like every time I opened this Kindle up, I was like, okay, I'll read it. And yeah, I half wish I didn't, and I half wish like it was. I'm just disappointed in the ending. What the heck is up with these endings?
I know, like, unless like you're contracted to like have like a set amount of pages or something, like, don't rush the ending. It's like the ending is super important.
Yeah, like if you're gonna have, if like you said, if they were contracted to have a certain amount of pages, don't be adding more things that you would have to like tie up. Like, if you knew that this is gonna be a standalone book, don't add more fillers. Like, there's no point. There's like, it's just gonna make the reader mad about how it like. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Because like, yeah, it was just.
the rent.
The rant.
It's like, how many rants did we have this stream? All right. So next book, God Killer.
Ooh, look at that.
God Killer by Hannah Anger. It's it's high fantasy, I guess. Um, this is for the fans of The Witcher, The Last of Us, and Game of Thrones. Specifically, the Hound and Arya's relationship. So it's about so we follow 4 POVs. So our main POV, she's a handicapped god killer. She had a very traumatic childhood. She lost her whole family. When she grew up, or let me add that she lost her whole family to a god. And so she grew up and she became a god killer.
Makes
she
sense.
was hired by the king. The king hires like many like god killers, kind of like the Witcher. You know, there's like many Witchers that kill. They hunt bounties and kill monsters. This is essentially what she does. She hunts and kills gods. And then our second POV is a little girl. She's of a royal family, but she is, I don't want to say cursed, but she is bound to a familiar, and this familiar is the god of white lies. So it's kind of like in the Golden Compass, where the kids have a familiar that shifts into different animals because they're not mature yet. So her familiar can turn into like a little bunny, to like a hare, to like a cat, and to like a bird or whatever. Grows antlers, yada yada. So she's bound to this god, and she's keeping this a secret because gods are outlawed by the kingdom. So the royal family outlawed gods. And so she has to keep a secret, or else they're going to try to kill her little god. And since they're bound, she will die. So she seeks out the god killer in hopes that she might help her break this, like, this tie that she has with the god. And so that's where their journey begins. And then our third point of view is the little familiar. Just, you know, we get to see what's in this god's head, and the god's goal is that he wants like a shrine, and he wants people to worship him. So he kind of like at some points of the book, he kind of like takes advantage of the little girl so that people can like worship him or whatever. And then our fourth point of view is an ex-knight. He retired after the war between the royal kingdom and gods, and he became a baker. But his best friend, the next king, like sought him out, and he needs help from him because like they're best friends and he trusts him. And so this ex-knight, goes on a quest to like help the prince or the heir. And so somewhere down the line, our characters meet up and they go about their quests together. And so their dynamic, I can best compare it to the Hound, Arya, and Brienne.
Aw.
So Brienne is the ex-knight, the Hound is the god killer. And so it's if you like that dynamic, this would be a good read. It's like the god killer is so like piss off or like, like that. Curses a lot, whatever. And she's very unladylike and she's strong. There's a lot of action in this, a lot of blood, a lot of gods, curses, there's rebellion, there's genocide in a sense. So yeah, if you like all of those, you might like this. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I gave it like 4 stars.
Nice.
Because it's a little less than 300 pages, so to like fit all that into that short amount of pages is impressive.
Nice. All right. So this is one of my last holiday reads. Like, okay, my last holiday read.
Oh, I saw that on Kindle.
Yeah,
Not
same
limited.
time next year. By Tessa Bailey. If you don't know her, she's written a lot of books, especially that book with the Schitt's
Like
Creek kind of
I
vibe
know.
book. The
Oh, I was thinking like hooks, lines, and
yeah,
sinkers.
that series.
Mhm.
I was thinking about the first book, but I totally forgot about so same author. It's a short book. It's of course it's a romance because that's all she writes is romances. It's kind of like it's not an arranged marriage. So the main girl, she's not forced to, I guess, but she hates marriage because she's had a bad experience with her parents, so she's sworn off marriage. But there's this hockey player that she kind of has an eye on, but kind of stays away from. He is losing he's not losing, his visa is expiring, so he's being threatened to go back to Canada, I think. Yeah, Canada. So her brother, who's on the same team as the hockey player, is like, oh, hey, can you marry him so he can stay? And she's like, what? No. And they're like, come on. And then she's like, fine, because he offered her money and it was her dream to own the bar that she works at. So this book takes place in the span of a year of them being married. So, I mean, it's not really a forced proximity. They don't live together at all. They only see each other maybe like a couple times a month. But like it's one of those he fell harder books. Like he's totally in love with her, so he spends the entire year being married to her to try to get her to fall in love with him. And since it's Tessa Bailey, there's smut. It is spicy.
Of course.
Yeah, it's like what she's known for. Okay, so yeah, it is spicy. Some say she might be the queen of smut. But yeah. I mean, it goes from there. Like, it's a short book. It's a novella. So I gave this like maybe a 3. I mean, it's mid. I mean, it's the same formula that Tessa Bailey uses in most of her books. So,
Okay.
all right.
Okay. I think this is my last book. So I read A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher. This was also a Goodreads 2023 finalist. So this one is a Southern Gothic horror that explores the deep, dark roots of family. Our main character, Sam, she returns to her late grandmother's house where her mom currently lives in because she's taking care of the house and whatnot. And yeah, she's been let me start over. Okay, so yeah, so her mom currently resides in her late grandmother's house, and when she shows up, she noticed like a drastic change in her mom's behavior and appearance and mannerisms. So she's worried about her, and so she stays with her for a bit. And during her stay, weird things start to happen. And she during her time there, she slowly deeps down into their family history. Like she'll go through pictures and their old family documents and stuff like that, and she's just trying to get down to the bottom of what's going on. Why is my mom acting this way? This house has a bad vibe. There's for example, there's a vulture that sits outside the house and just watches the house, and over time there's more vultures that accumulate and they just stare at that one house on the neighborhood. So definitely something is going on. It's very creepy, disturbing. The plot twist got me in the end because I was like, I think this and this is gonna happen, and it kind of does, but it totally flips it, and I'm like, yo, I wasn't expecting that. It was just it was a good time. I don't know if you would like it because it is very disturbing. For example, there's sleep paralysis and stuff like that. And yeah, I think I gave it a 5.
Wow, a 5?
It's written well. Yeah.
Okay.
I liked our main character. It's just, yeah. That was good.
Well, speaking of disturbing, it's funny you said that because I read Haunting Adeline.
Haunting in a different way.
Yes.
Disturbing in a different way, I mean.
This book. Okay. So, I'm not going to tell you what it's about because it's all over Book Talk and Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen them?
I have an idea of what's in it.
Yes. So, freaking book talk. Okay. See, this is what I hate. It was all over book talk, all over Bookstagram. This is like what I said earlier. Like, I just had to pick it up and see why everyone was loving this book. I should have known. It's it like I don't want to say it scared me. Maybe I should say that. Like personally, but like the gist of it is the main character falls in love with her stalker. I mean, how disturbing is that? She falls in love with it. It's a dark romance. Like hella dark. Hella dark. And so yeah. It's you like when you're telling me about the things about your book that were creepy, I was in like no girl. This is creepy and disturbing.
This creepy in a different way.
This is
there we go.
This is creepy in a real way. Like the events in this book could literally happen in real life, except like I think this was based in Seattle. So like I was like reading the comments about this book, and then of course I was watching the videos on Bookstagram while I was scrolling, and it's just like it kind of makes me scared to go out at night when I have to walk Kira.
Oh really?
So like luckily I have Kira. She probably like even though she's like so friendly, like maybe the size of her will scare people away, because that's usually what happens. Like they get scared when Kira tries to like attack them. And when I say attack, I mean like attack with licks. So like I mean like I'm like okay with her going out with her now at night, but before, when I read this book, like after I finished it, I read it like right after we ended. I think yeah, I read it after we ended, and then like two or 3 days, I was just like, babe, let's go walk here now. Babe, let's go walk here now.
Yeah.
And then he was like, yeah, he was like, no, just go by yourself. Like, no, it's okay. It's dark outside. You want me to go outside by myself?
Aww.
So yeah, like it made me go scared to go outside at night for a little bit. But then I just remember like, yep, as long as I have Kira with me, I should be fine. Yeah. So I'm not gonna say anything else about this book. People out there, read it at your own risk. If you've seen this book, I would strongly recommend reading the trigger warnings before reading this book. Like literally, you should read it. Like it's like the trigger warnings are like maybe before the book starts, but I know some people just scroll and start reading ahead of time. But literally, like, read the trigger warnings before reading this book. It's a duology.
Oh.
This book ended on a cliffhanger, so it's like trying to make you read the sequel, but I'm like, nah, bro. I'm good where it ended. I'm fine.
I don't need to know more.
I don't want to know. Like, yeah, I get why. I know they're like those girlies who are all about the dark fantasies. I'm like, okay, power to you. You are strong enough to read this. I am not. So.
Yeah, just to clarify, this is creepy, disturbing in a paranormal sense. If I didn't make that clear.
Yeah.
Paranormal.
And then I don't want to even rate it. Oh shoot. I deleted my next book. Uh Here it is. So the last book I read um is The Never King. I don't know if you see it right there. Yeah.
No.
I know. I did not know what.
One star. One star.
Not even a star, bro.
I had to rate it, and 1 star was the least I can give it.
I don't even want to rate it 1 star.
Oh, I know. Same here. I was. No.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
No.
I'm like, I saw this book and I'm like, how does it have 35,000 ratings? I'm
I
like,
don't understand how people like are into it. Like, ooh. I'm like, yo.
good thing this was a short book. I was like, oh my gosh. I thought it was like, it's basically a Peter Pan retelling with Wendy and Peter Pan and the Lost Boys. And then I thought it was going to be like something else. I didn't know it was going to go in that direction. I was just like, are you what? What?
Yeah, I was like, I picked it up because I was like, okay, Peter Pan retelling. Like, okay, let's see how this goes. And then everything happened, and the plot is like the last few pages of the book. I'm like, what? Like, so like there was no plot in this first
There's
book.
literally no plot.
Really.
And then oh my, all the exciting stuff happened. Yeah, all the exciting stuff happened in the last chapter.
Yeah.
I was like,
I was
wow.
scarred by this book. That
Bro.
book put me in a reading slump for like months. Yeah. Mm-mm.
I know. I was just like, yeah, no way. I am finishing this series. People read the trigger warnings.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking the dark romance girlies. Power to you. But like, okay, sure, sure.
Not for me. Not for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think like I read it when you were going through your Hades and Persephone read throughs,
Mm-hmm.
and you read a retelling of like Hook, like a Peter Pan, but it's like Hook and such and such. And then I was like, okay, let me see what the fuss is all about. So I picked up the Never King, and I was like, oh, never
I
done.
think I remember that book. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that was when I picked it up. And
Yeah,
I was
that
forever
book had not.
scarred.
Yeah, this. I don't know if I'll. I don't think I'm ready to read anything Peter Pan related for a good while. For a good while. Like,
like the original Peter Pan stories, like disturbing enough, but like the additions to this retelling, I'm like scarred
mm-hmm.
for life.
I'm like, I mean, if anything, if there's only one good thing I can say about this book, is that the main girl, she comes into her own, like female empowerment. Yay, that's it though. It only lasts for like
That's it though.
That's it. She's like confident in herself, and we love a confident queen, but still like that's the only redeeming quality of this book. That's
like what she's confident about. Well, you'll see if you read it.
Yeah, so be warned. If you like Haunting Adeline, you will love that book. That's all I can say. If that gives you any tell of what that book is about. You'll love it. They're both free on Kindle Unlimited, so if you have the subscription, it's free.
Yeah, read at your own risk.
hmm But yeah,
Um,
that's all my books that I read uh, this month.
Jeez. Yeah. We ended it on a sour note.
hmm
But
Yeah. I think that was like after I was done with those books. I was like, I that's when I didn't read anything for the week of Christmas, besides the Assassin's Blade. But like,
oh well.
I was just this one. I
You're
only
like, let's do young YA.
let's just
I
let's
need.
just let's just do something low risk right now. Something that won't traumatize me.
Oh Lord.
But I mean, the Never King is like, I would say less traumatizing than Haunting Adeline, because at least Haunting Adeline, it can happen in real life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, just a side note, I don't think it has to be said, but I will say it: don't fall in love with your stalker.
Mhm. Yeah. Mhm.
Call the
Not
police
a
instead.
good. Yeah. You have issues if you
Issues.
do.
And then,
Uh,
like, what I hate is they try to justify it. Like,
yeah.
no, not the girl, him, like the stalker. He tries to justify it. Like, I guess he's a vigilante of some type, and since he does good, he deserves to, he deserves to be the stalker. He deserves, like, he thinks
You know
it's not
what?
he thinks there's nothing wrong with stalking because he does such good work for the world.
You know what? It just reminded me of. It's like, dude, Edward Cullen was a
Oh
stalker.
hell yeah, Edward Cullen was a stalker.
Yeah, and that was YA. And like just the thought that, Twilight romanticized falling in love with a stalker.
Mm,
Ugh, yikes. Yeah, there's so many red flags in Twilight. Um, anyways. So yeah, 20 we only have like a couple days left in 2023.
like 2 days,
Um,
right?
yeah. Did you achieve your reading goals?
I don't know what my reading goal. I didn't set one for this year, honestly.
Oh, really?
But I felt like I read a lot
Do
of
you feel
books.
good? You feel
Yeah, I
good?
felt fine. Like, just this month I read 11 and a half books, which is pretty
Mhm.
good. Um,
Yeah.
Same as last month. I think I read about 10. So I know I went through like a 3 or 4 month slump, but eh,
Other than that.
yeah. Maybe next year I'll set a goal. Maybe uh I don't want to say 100 because if I don't read 100, I'll feel so bad. But if I say 50, I know I will surpass that.
Dude, okay, so the beginning of 2023, I set my reading goal at 100 because I thought I was going to read more manga, but I only read three manga, three individual mangas. So
Mm-hmm.
I adjusted my goal
Yeah.
to be like a little more than half of that. And so,
Yeah. I know
yeah.
in 2022, I did set a reading goal to 100. I did not. I honestly, I only read 82. Like, I
Mhm.
was only like, what, 12 books shy? But I was just like over it. And so I adjusted it to like 80. I'm like, yay, 80.
Well, yeah, achieved my goal.
80. I was like, I mean, honestly, 80 bucks, it's
It's a
pretty good.
lot.
It's a lot of books.
It's a lot. Like, if you
Especially if
think
they're
about it,
series.
yeah, if you think about it, like, many people barely read like three books, like in a year, you know. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So goals for the new year, you're not gonna do, you know.
Um, maybe maybe I'll set a reading goal. We'll see. There are some new releases coming out next year that I'm excited about. Releases to series that I had that I want to read. Maybe we'll see. Maybe I'll set my goal to. Let's do 70. You know what? Let's do 70. Secretly try to go to 100.
Yeah, you just ease your way. I think for me, oh, sorry, burp. I think I don't know about a number yet, but I do want to finally tackle my more bigger books. So that might affect my number.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to like set a goal to read a really thick book, like Stephen King thick, Sarah J. Maas thick. But yeah, you know what? Maybe my goal, I can't believe I'm gonna say this. Maybe I should. Lee's listening, I know it.
Dude, I think I know what you're thinking, and I'm thinking it too.
I don't want to say it because then if
I
I
don't want to
say
say it either.
I'm not gonna say it because then if I do say it, it's on the internet forever, and then I have
I
to.
know, same here. Same here. But yeah, I was talking to CJ about it, and I was watching videos on book reading order.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll see.
We'll see what
probably
happens.
I'll probably so definitely affect my number because those are thick.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to tackle my bigger books, finish the Lunar Chronicles. Is that what it's called? Lunar Chronicles?
Is that the one with the cyborg Cinderella?
Yeah, Cinder Scarlet. So I want to finish that. I want to finish Percy Jackson because the show's out.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of want to do a reread of Harry Potter because I haven't read it since high school, or at least the last book. So
Aww, now I want to read it now. I want to reread Harry Potter now. Oh, I would love to. I used to read that series every year, and then I stopped like 5 years ago.
Because of Sarah J. Maas. Just kidding. Probably.
Yeah. Plus, like, I just was like, I have the movies. I mean, of course, like, the books are different. Like, I literally pulled Harry Potter lore out of my ass at work the other day because when I was watching the whole Harry Potter series, and then it was Order of the Phoenix, and it was like the whole prophecy thing, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I remember that, and I remember about the prophecy with Neville Longbottom, and then my coworkers was asking me about that. I'm like, you don't know the Neville Longbottom lore, the prophecy about him? And then so I just it just came out like word vomit. I'm like, oh my gosh, I do miss reading the books, but like maybe like I won't read it right away because I just watched the series. It has to be like I need like a couple of months of month break.
I would probably have to do like one book a month with like let's say with the Percy Jackson book, I guess.
I know.
Break it down.
If I'm ever going to if I tackle a big thick book, I have to like break it up into like a month, like not a month, a year. Like give myself a year to read bits and pieces of it, because saying those names.
So
saying those names of characters. But you'll see.
Yeah, so we'll see. I have a couple days to think of a number, but yeah, yeah, and I do want to read more books that I feel like I would resonate with more, and not just read books just because, because those books that I read just because tend to not be good. Yeah, I don't want to be influenced
By book
by
talk.
book talk and stuff. Like, I really want to read, to like have a good experience.
Kira. Ah! You slapped me.
So, on
Okay.
that note, do 2 prompts.
2 prompts. Wah. Paw. Here. Don't. I said paw. Paw. Stop biting. Paw. Paw.
It's like, we already did this one. Do you want to do it again by an Asian author? Because I think we put it back in the jar. Change it up.
Change it up.
Okay. 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 A standalone.
Okay, yeah. Is that alone?
It's like that's like all of this much.
I would actually have to look at my Kindle for that because I think most of my books I have are like parts of series. Unless it's a contemporary fiction. Those are all my standalones.
And this one's easy. Enemies to lovers.
Oh yeah. Enemies to me. Oh, that's easy. That's so easy.
Yeah, that's an easy one. Unless you want another prompt.
Yeah, add another one because that's almost all my books. Enemies to lovers.
Yeah.
And if I read the sequel to A Court of Dragons, there you go.
Oh wait, that's a duplicate. There's enemies. A thriller mystery.
Oh. Oh. Okay. Oh, that's easy for you. I barely have any thriller books in my freaking.
I mean, there's Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I have one in mind, but we'll see. All right, that's easy.
Okay. A thriller. What is it? A thriller.
So it could be a thriller or a mystery. So it doesn't have to be like an adult thriller. It could be like something younger, a younger mystery. Like there's YA thrillers.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look through Kindle because I know for sure I do not have any in my bookshelf.
Like I think I might pick up the sequel to the Housemaid. The sequel.
Yeah, I was just looking at that right now.
Yeah,
The Housemaid.
Because that one was 2023 Goodreads finalist also, I think.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I like the first book, honestly.
I heard the second one was better.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
What if I read the sequel to Haunting Adeline? Ew,
Oh,
no way.
You're only hurting yourself.
Yeah, I know, for reals. Okay,
But,
I guess that's an option though. The housemaid. The housemaid.
yeah, whatever the second one was called.
Yeah.
But yeah. So here's to a successful 2023.
Yeah.
When shall our next stream be? 2024.
You. The 26th of January.
Okay. 26. All right. Alrighty. This was a beefy stream.
Mm-hmm. Went through a lot of books.
Yeah, if you guys are interested in any of the books that we went through,
Mm-hmm.
or if you read it, please leave us some feedback or leave a comment down below. Yada yada.
Yada yada.
We can talk about it next time. And yeah, thank you for joining us or tuning in wherever you are. Happy holidays. Have a good new year.
Stay safe. If there's fireworks and you have pets, keep the
Yeah.
doors locked and windows closed.
Yeah, stay safe out there. Beware of any stalkers.
Yeah.
But yeah, have a happy new year. Tune in January 26th at 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time if you want to join us again.
Yes.
Other than that,